Hey guys, so I just want to pick up where we left off. And we had just finished noticing that when we took the exponent and we divided by 2, we got our new exponent. And the reason we divided by 2 is because of this number right here in front. And remember, there's an invisible 2 right there. So like 4 divided by 2 is 2. 12 divided by the 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 13. Uh-oh, hang on 1 second. Our computer is not plugged in. All right, 13 divided by 2 is 6, remainder 1. So 6 goes on the outside, 1 stays in jail, in the radicand. All right, and so this works with the exponents, okay? And so we took our exponents and we divided by this number out here. It's called the index, just so you know. All right, so exponents divide by index. Tiny number in of radical. All right, and then the coefficients, the big number, take the square root. For cubed root, etc. All right, so hard to read with that red, sorry. All right, so the exponents divide by the index. So like 4 divided by that 2, or 12 divided by that 2. The coefficients, like the 8, take the square root. So square root of 8 or whatever, or square root of 36 or whatever it is. All right, so let's do another one just like that. All right, and I like to split everything up. 128, x 64, y 25. All right, I'm not writing out 64 x's. I'm not writing out 25 y's, just so you know. Okay, so I'm going to do 64 divided by 2. That's 32. So it's really x to the 32nd. And then I'm going to do 25 divided by 2. And remember, I divided by 2 because this is really square root. 25 divided by 2 is 12. And then there's a remainder of 1. So it's y to the 12th. And then there's 1 left in jail, in the radicand. All right, 28. So I know the answer just because I've done it right for a long time. It's just my skill set, okay? But so 28, you could do like 128 divided by 100. Then there's 81. Then there's, it's 9 times 9, 8 times 8, 64, 7 times 7. And so you can go through the list, or like I always go backwards. So biggest to small. If you go small to big, you're going to like divide by 4, and there's going to be another one, and you're going to divide by 4, and there's going to be another one, and you're going to divide by 4, and there's going to be another one. All right, so 128, just so you know, is 64 times 2. Yeah. All right, and so the square root of 64 is 8, and 2 can't come out because there's not 2 of them. 64 is 8 times 8, and so I can take that group of 2 out, and so that's how that works. All right, so what I have is 8's on the outside, x to the 32, y to the 12 is on the outside. And then on the inside, in the radicand, it's square root of 2, square root of y. So I'm going to write that. 8, x 32, write it in ABC order, y 12, square root 2y. And so that's your answer. And I know it looks crazy. You're working on logical thinking skills and manipulating variables. Focus on that, not am I going to need this at Hobby Lobby, right? All right, let's do this. So cubed root means groups of 3. Okay, cubed root also has different numbers. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 4 times 4 times 4 is 4. 5 times 5 times 5 5. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. 7, so on and so forth. Okay? But we do it the same way. All right, so 27 happens to be right there. And so that's 3 times 3 times 3. All right, and the 3, that means we want groups of 3. So there's one group of 3. And so that's our answer. So the cubed root of 27 is 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. All right, here we're going to do the cubed root of 8. Figure out what he is. Cubed root of 125. Figure out what he is. If you do not put the little 3 here, it really means the square root of 8 and the square root of 125, which is a different number. Let me show you. Square root of 8. Cubed root of 8. Right, so two totally different numbers. Square root of 8 is 2.8 something. Cubed root of 8 is 2. All right, so cubed root of 8, he's right here. Whoa. And then 125 is right there. So cubed root of 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. And then cubed root of 125, 5. So it's 2/5. Works the same way, except now we're doing the cubes, so squares. All right, cubed root of -1. Okay, well, let's think. Let's try -1 times -1 times -1. Well, -1 times -1 is 1, and 1 times -1 is -1, so it works. So we have one group of 3, many groups of 3, of -1. So the cubed root of -1 is -1. If you want to check it, you can check it on your calculator. I'm not showing you what buttons to push because I want you to be able to do this by hand. Figure it out. You figure it out. I can't help you. All right, 16. So the cubed root is 1 times 1 times 1, 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times 4 times 4, blah, blah, blah. All right, and remember my suggestion was 16, so it's going to happen here. So we're going to go up. So 16 is going to be -8 times 2. Okay, and the cubed root of -8 is -2 times -2 times -2, and then we have that 2 cubed root. Okay, and we have a group of -2's, so he can come out of jail, and then that 2 stays inside. Okay, do not forget this little 3, otherwise it's the square root. So the cubed root of -16 is -2 times the cubed root of 2. Cubed root of -1 is -1. Just for real quick, like, let's do the square root of -1. When you do the square root of -1, you get, your calculator messes up. I don't remember what I was talking about. I paused the video. Somebody came by my office. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this negative means that at the very end, we're going to have a negative on the outside. I'm going to take the cubed root of 250. I'm going to do the cubed root of x to the 6th. And then 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed, 27. 4 cubed, or 5 cubed, 6 cubed, 216, 7 cubed, 343, 8 cubed, 512. All right, so 250 happens in between these two numbers. All right, so I'm going to do 250 divided by 216. It's going to be a decimal. I'm going to do 250 divided by 125, I get a whole number. (125) times 2. And 125 is really 5 times 5 times 5 times 2. All right, and that's a group of 3, so I can pull him out. Right, and then x to the 6 is really 6 of them. 6. I want groups of 3. 1, 2. There's 2 groups of 3, so I got x squared. Or you can think of it as that's 6 divided by that 3. It's 2. All right, so 5 and x squared on the outside. And then 3, the cubed root of 2, is still there. All right, so let's do another one. Oh, wait a minute, we have this guy. Don't forget, put the negative right there. All right. So cubed root of negative 512, cubed root of x to the 9, cubed root of y to the 12. All right, cubed root of 1, 2 2, 8, 3 times 3 times 3, 64. I need to do 512. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. All right, and I happen to get 512. So, but it's negative. So that means it's negative 8 times negative 8 times negative 8. Okay, and that's 3 groups. So I get negative 8 here. All right, 9. And draw 9 x's and then circle groups of 3. Or I can do 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I get x to the 3rd. Here, I can do y 12 times and circle 3 groups of y. And I get y to the 4th. There's 4 of them because I did 12 divided by 3. All right, and there's nothing left in the radical. Okay, and so I get negative 8, x3, y 4th. I know it makes you feel so much better when there's nothing left inside. Another one. Make sure it has a negative. Yeah, has a negative because there's a negative right there. All right, so we're going to do this guy, and just don't forget to change the sign at the very end. So cubed root of negative 108, 108, cubed root of x to the 15, cubed root y11. All right, so 108, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 108 happens right here. So I'm going to do 108 divided by 64. Oops. It's a decimal, 1.6. 108 divided by 27 is 4. And remember, I'm taking the cubed root. So the cubed root of 4 doesn't exist. The square root of 4 does, but not the cubed root of 4. So the cubed root of 27 is 1, 2, 3. So it'll be negative 3 cubed root of 4. And I want to keep this negative attached to the one that's the perfect cubed, or the perfect square, or the perfect 4. I'm going to do 15 divided by 3. That's 5, so I'm going to get x to the 5. And then I'm going to do 11 divided by 3. Oh, that's 9. So that's 3 remainder 2. 10, 11, yeah. So I'm going to get y to the 3rd with 2 left inside. All right, so I need to combine these guys. Negative 3, x 5, y 3, and then cubed root of 4y squared. Looks crazy. Put everything outside the thing together, everything inside together. I'll see you in the next video.